Heaven knows I've tried. Don't let
I can't believe nobody wants you. Like I'm a 10-year-old German Shepherd at a rescue shelter, or the last vegan cupcake on the bakery display case. You're so nice and smart and such a good cook, and nobody wants you. The woman who is screeching her disbelief that I am single is hosting a party, and I am only here because she is dating a very dear friend, and I told him I would go. She is flitting around her house wearing a starched white apron and fussing with everything, including the charcuterie board that is expensive wedges of cheese and really tight rolled meats. There are no chips or dip or sliders at this party. And she points to a tray of bruschetta I brought and says, "Oh, you're such a good cook, and nobody wants you." Like, making bruschetta would get you a podcast deal or a MacArthur Genius Grant. Now, I don't believe I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she's just trying to be supportive. I also believe she has had many, many glasses of rosé. And I really don't think my relationship status is anybody's business. Unless, of course, I'm writing about it or talking about it like now, and that's okay. But unlike her, I do not feel that who I am with is who I am. I feel like my identity factors are way many more than who I am dating. First of all, it's mother, journalist, author, sister, friend, roller derby girl. Yeah, Mish the Masher. Amateur artist, halfway decent dancer. Now, I don't feel that the reason I am single is because no one is good enough for me or I'm not good enough for anyone else. I feel like there are many reasons I could be coming alone to this party. My date could be busy, sick, couldn't stand her, could be tied up in the trunk of my car or in a soundproof glass cage in a rental storage unit. And yes, I saw all the episodes of You, right? But I feel like I'm also kind of realistic, maybe, about what I can offer. I'm 64 years old, once married and once divorced, and I am so not doing that again. So I am cautious, but I feel on an AARP age-adjusted scale of 1 to 10 that maybe I'm like a 7 in the dark, maybe like a 6 in broad daylight. I don't know, but I also feel that I get a lot of lessons in real life from what to do and what not to do. And I know many, many really, really happy couples, and some of you are here tonight, and yay for you, but yeah, I've seen a lot of horror shows. For instance, my friend did end up marrying this woman, even though there were so many red flags. You could have made a quilt out of them. But I feel like he is such a nice man that he always gave her the benefit of the doubt. And I think he was swayed by the fact that in public she gushed all the time about how much she loved him, and sat on his lap at parties telling him how great he was. Now, no judgment, but I feel like he didn't want to be alone. Now, I don't mind being alone, but I have not met my Bobby McGee. So I am looking in real life for tips, and I grew up in a house where my parents were married for 44 years. It ended because my father passed. And they were not perfect, and their marriage was not perfect, but I feel like I knew what it looked like to be seen and loved for who you are. And I feel like my 5 brothers and sisters and I were loved and seen for who we are. So I expect that. Okay, I demand that. And that doesn't always happen. happen. So this is what I do. I watch a fair amount of romance reality TV shows. And there are a lot of those, and you can get so many lessons on cautionary tales on what never to do. So there's Are You the One? Love Island, Love Jungle, Too Hot to Handle. You're nodding, you've seen them too. Love is Blind, where they don't see each other till after the wedding. Yo! And then of course there's 90 Day Fiancé, which makes me scream at the TV. You gave Evelyn $40,000 for her bar in Peru? She still is seeing her old boyfriend. Of course I watched Tinder Swindler. Note to self, it is not likely his private jet. So do not give him $25,000, even if you have $25,000 to give. And then, of course, for my generation and generations after, there is the reliable franchise of cautionary tales. It is The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, and Bachelor in Paradise. And after every episode and season, I have the same 3 questions. And they're all for the parents of the participants. Not the love hopefuls, the parents. The first question: are you embarrassed that your child says the word amazing 100 times an hour? That was so amazing. This steak is amazing. Your bathing suit is amazing. Our one-on-one date was amazing. Question number 2, for the parents. Have you ever communicated to your child what in life constitutes the description of something that is so hard or really difficult? Because that is how your child describes the process of being flown around the world for free to private resorts and islands where they eat, drink, dance, make out, eat, drink, dance, and make out, which brings me to question number 3, for the parents. How can you stand it watching your son or daughter sliding around on the hammocks in their bathing suits, making out while millions of people are watching? Because I have 3 grown sons, and ew. But I have to say that I have learned from, in real life and watching these TV shows, a list of things to do and not to do. I'm not in my dating. I'm not going to call them rules because that's too harsh, so they're parameters. So the first thing I do before I will agree to meet someone or to date them is to look them up on white pages or LinkedIn to make sure they are who they say they are. You might be surprised. Oh no, that's not my real name. Is that a problem? And then there's what in my demographic, I kindly call the age gap, which is the gap between how old they are and how old they really are. They say they are. So I've had conversations like this. No, 45 is not 65. 52 is not 70. And then there are things, it could just be me, but these are things I'm not going to do. I'm not going to date the man whose profile photo is him in a hospital gown. Or more than one. Or the one who's unclear about where he lives and says he's at the airport, like, for the next 25 minutes, like what? Are we meeting in the cell phone parking lot? And then there are the ones who say, and I don't click on them, they're into polyamory, and they're married, but their wives are good with this. And then for health reasons, I can't date a guy with 15 cats because I'm deadly allergic. And the super ultra conservative ones who have conspiracy theories, can't do that. And then, you might think this is shallow, this could just be me, but this is a hard no for me. The guy who takes a profile photo in the public restroom mirror with urinals behind it, right? Because sometimes there are people using the urinals behind them. And then I want to say, oh gosh, does the guy in the green shirt and the khaki pants? No, he's in the background of the Bumble profile photo. I don't think he does. All to say, I have gone on a fair number of dates with, really nice men. And there are a lot of nice men out there, and it just hasn't worked out to anything long-term or anything really fantastic. But I have really learned how to read signals, and I'm so aware of the signals that I'm sending, but also the signals I'm getting. Like the guy on our first date, 20 minutes in, out of the blue says, "Do you sleep in the nude?" Now, we were not talking about sleeping or pajamas or narcolepsy or sleep apnea or mattress sales. So I gave him what I'm certain he thought was the wrong answer. No, I sleep in yoga pants and my dead mother's camisole. We did not have a second date. And then there was a guy, oh, bless his heart, who showed up at the restaurant wearing a fanny pack, and not ironically, like I see a lot of you doing now, across your chest. So he talked the entire time while he was eating, so food was spraying across the table, and some of it was landing on me. And then he was in the bathroom for 35 minutes. I was kind of worried about him. I thought, like, wow, does he have irritable bowel syndrome? Or did he have, something happen? But before he came back to the table, the waitress came over to me and said, "If you want to go, it's fine. I will split your check, you pay your share, I'll tell him you had an emergency." So yeah, in my poor thing, in my dating life, I guess I got nothing left to lose. But I am hopeful and I am confident that someday, maybe soon, I'm gonna meet my own Bobby McGee. Yeah.